Hey, Bailey. Hey, you want to be in the video? Why don't you get out of here so I can make this video? Don't you bite my nuts. Get out of here. Anyway, got a puppy. She's crazy. Come here so they don't think I'm insane. I'm making this up. There's the puppy. Okay, now go. That's a big puppy. What's going on, my humans? All right, so I shot my first wedding with the A7iii. My B camera was the A7R2, and this is my initial impressions of the A7iii for wedding videography. A little bit of background: before this, I used to shoot all my weddings on Nikons, APS-C censored Nikon, so Nikon D5300, Nikon D5200. Do not knock over that light. In comparison to those cameras, the Sonys, I mean, it's just really no comparison. These cameras are exceptionally better cameras. The overall picture quality was amazing. Like, I look back, I'm gonna lay over some images here while I'm talking, just so you can see. The 4K was crystal clear. The 120 frame per second slow motion was beautiful to watch. Capabilities of the A7iii, exceptional. These are all things that I expected, right? Like, I knew that these are the reasons that I bought this camera in the first place. Functionality was great. I had already set up my custom buttons the way I thought would be most efficient for me to use filming a wedding. I piggybacked off of Josh Yo's custom button settings and then just made some adjustments from there. I'll link that video below so you can check him out. He's an awesome cinematographer and gives you some great tips. If you like the Sony A7iii, you should definitely check out some of his videos. The autofocus on the A7iii is, as expected, spectacular, and it did an exceptional job of focusing on the subjects that I wanted focused. And if at all it didn't focus on exactly what I wanted, I would just tap the screen and it would rack focus to that subject, which was really efficient. And once it was on that subject, I would just hit the center button and it would go back to autofocus continuous. It was groundbreaking for me. Understand that before this, I did everything manual. I was literally on a gimbal, manual focusing my lens as I ran through a reception dance floor. Not ideal, but I definitely got some pretty sick images doing that. It also made me appreciate autofocus on a really good camera, something that I didn't think I ever would. What are you eating? What are you eating? Look at that. That's metal. So I really appreciate the autofocus on the A7iii. The A7R2 was just clutch. It's my B camera. It didn't falter, it didn't give me any issues whatsoever. It's just a workhorse, did its job. Now, there is one con for the A7iii that I was not prepared for. Now, I did a lot of research on this camera and whether or not it was going to be the right camera for me for videography. I was definitely a Sony fanboy due to the A7S II. I didn't own it, but I had used it on some short films. So when the A7iii came out, and it was basically like the A7S II plus autofocus and a bunch of other features, I was like, okay, well, this has to be the camera for me. So I did a lot of research on the camera and just trying to figure out what problems I could run into, what drawbacks I would have. Clearly the 29-minute record limit is a drawback for a wedding videographer, but I had the same issue with my Nikons and I did just fine. So it's just a matter of being aware of how long your cameras are recording and making sure you hit record on them again. So I wasn't very concerned about that. Now, the one thing that I was not prepared for, the one thing that no one warned me about, that I didn't see on any reviews, is that these cameras can overheat. Yes. Overheat. Overheating is one reason why I didn't look at any of the A6000 series cameras, 6300, 6500, because I knew those overheated. Everyone said that they overheated, and that was just a common issue. And for someone who does things like long recording in 4K like I do, it's important that these cameras do not overheat. What exactly did the camera do? It didn't shut down on me. I was recording the ceremony in 4K, 24 frames per second, 100 megabytes. Probably about 45 minutes in, I got a little yellow temperature warning on my A7iii, which freaked me out. I was not expecting that at all. Okay, the A7R2 was recording for just as long, didn't have that problem at all. I didn't stop recording, I didn't let it cool down, nope. I pushed it and kept going to see what would happen. Thankfully, it didn't get any worse. It didn't go to the red one. I believe the next, from yellow it goes to red. Red means like, hey, we got a problem, we need to like really cool this bad boy down, or we're gonna have to shut this whole show down. And it didn't shut down, so it didn't go that far, but the camera was definitely warm to touch. Not hot, but it was warm. And yeah, I just didn't expect that. Like, no one mentioned in any video reviews that there's a potential to overheat. Would it have gotten worse if I recorded longer? Maybe. Would it have just stayed yellow and never had a single problem? Possible. I don't know. As awesome as this camera is, if you are recording 4K for long periods of time, there is a potential that the temperature will rise to a point where you get a warning. Clearly, after this situation, I'm gonna have to test it, so stay tuned and I will make a video testing the A7 III in 4K and just letting it record for as long as possible, see if it shuts down and overheats on me. So that's my initial review of the A7 III for wedding videography. Overall, it's an exceptional camera. It did the job spectacularly. Autofocus is amazing. The custom button settings make everything super easy to use. On a whim, you can just flip a dial or hit a custom button setting and get to where you need to get to. It didn't have any errors with memory cards or anything like that. It recorded on point. The images are beautiful, exceptional 4K, exceptional 1080p. I like the 120. I heard people gripe about the 120 frames per second, but I thought the image was good to me. And when I was shooting 120, it was in a dark room. I had to shoot wide open, 1.8 aperture, and the images still look good to me. To each his own, but to me the camera displayed exceptional image quality. So if you have any questions, if you yourself are doing wedding videography and I didn't cover maybe something that you were concerned about or a feature that you were excited about, leave your questions in the comments below. I may have forgot to mention something. Let me know if there's anything you wanted to know about this camera specifically for wedding videography. I will do my best to get you those answers. Hope you found this useful. I'll see you guys in the next video.